Welcome back to another episode of the Wonder Boys podcast. This time it's going to be a little bit different. It's just Lucas this time for the first time ever. I think this is the first time I will be just doing this solo. And but this week's going to be a little bit different of an episode too. So what I did a few weeks ago was I went to and joined in on the hop circuit, which was organized by Yeast Van. So Yeast Van is a collection of 17 craft breweries in the East Van district and was the organizer of the hop circuit. Ksenia, who I met at Postmark Brewery, was the kind person who I spoke to and provided me with the connections that allowed me to make this all happen. So like I said, the hop circuit was held on the 22nd of March and is a self-guided brewery tour or brewery crawl amongst the large group of breweries that all held around each other in the East Van and Railtown areas there. And as part of the hop circuit, breweries actually opened up their people and their process to come and check out. So you could go into the back and have a look at the tanks. You could walk around the tasting room and obviously taste some of their beers. And the brewers and the brewmasters and everybody was hanging around to answer questions. And it was a very friendly, very inviting environment. And I actually made a stop at 5 breweries. So in this podcast, you're going to hear 5 different interviews with 5 different people, or more than that, because sometimes it was 2 people. But you're going to hear interviews with me talking to them about what their brewing was all about, how they got started, what's coming up in the summer for them. I asked them some fun questions as well. And so the 5 breweries we're going to be talking to today. So I started at Postmark, where Ksenia, the person who actually works for Yeast Van as well, and works for, sort of helps organize Yeast Van. I met with her. She works for Postmark as well. And I met with Dominic at Postmark. From there, I biked on to Doans Brewing, which is on Commercial Drive. And then I jumped to Powell Brewing, which is obviously on Powell Street, and then biked a little bit further down Powell Street back to Doans Brewing, and from then I made it over to Luppolo, which was my final stop. And it was a great day. It was a sunny day to bike around in East Vancouver, and so let's without further ado, let's jump into the interview. So, like I said, my first stop was at Postmark, which is located at 55 Dunlevy Avenue, and I met with Ksenia and Dominic. And I was able to try, while I was there, their Mosaic IBA. So here's that first interview with them.
Together and done over the last 6 years?
4. Right? Coming up on 4.
4 years.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So you want to introduce yourselves? Start with you, Ksenia?
Sure. I'm Ksenia. I'm the community manager here at Postmark, which is an umbrella term for I do a lot of different things.
And I'm Dominic, and I'm the brewmaster here at Postmark, and I've been here for just over 2 years.
Awesome. When did you train to be a brewmaster? Is that what you
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of my midlife crisis, so I had another complete career. And so I wanted to switch, so I went and went to school in Vermont at the American Brewers Guild, and now I've been doing it for, I think it's been up to 12 years now.
Whoa. Okay, and then what made you decide to work for Postmark?
Similar to Dominic, I'm trained in a very different field. I did my degree in French, actually, and then ended up moving over to Vancouver and just fell into the craft beer world. Originally doing volunteer work with Camera as their events coordinator, and then ended up making a bunch of connections, and eventually ended up at Postmark.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then how did Yeast Van come to be? How did that community come to be?
It's no secret that there are so many breweries in East Vancouver, or Yeast Vancouver, and it's only natural that as such a tight-knit community, we would come together and build this cooperative. We share hops and malt if we need it. Dominic is always reaching out to other breweries, and they're reaching out to us for help when it's needed, and it was kind of just organic. Yeah.
And then, so more specifically about the hop circuit, which is what I'm doing today, and what I hope one of my friends will eventually join me, so I'm not Johnny alone. How did that idea come together?
I believe this is the 3rd year.
Yeah, this is the year number 3, and it's just a way to expose people to the East Vancouver breweries. It's a festival of our community on the east side, and right. I think that's basically what it is. So, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so that's good. One of my questions is, what is your favorite beer that is not made by you guys? Who makes your favorite beer outside of Postmark?
That's an impossible question to answer.
Okay, let's give top 3 then. Top 3.
Oh my gosh.
still an impossible question.
So hard. Right
mean,
now,
yeah.
Okay, favorite brewery. Let's go favorite. Oh, God.
I mean, our lives are brewing, so
yeah.
I mean, I've had so many great beers, like with all these breweries around here and stuff. To narrow it down to the top 3, I think you got to get rid of that question.
Okay, all right.
I will say that I'm really loving what Beer Brewing is doing right now, and they're brand new, and it's really impressive to see the great beer that they have coming out, especially considering how new they are.
Okay.
Who else?
I mean, I can go through Powell Street. David does some great things.
Four Winds always knocks it out of the park.
Graham, I think, does great things at the Parallel 49.
Luppolo is killing it right now.
I hadn't even heard of Luppolo until this thing came up.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, they are so great. Like great people and a great brewery and
Yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult question.
Good. I'm glad
Really
I tested
difficult
you.
question.
I guarantee you will stump everyone with that question.
What would be your favorite, I guess, other brewery then? Do you have a favorite or like friends that at another brewery that
So
you
again,
same
like they're all my
question.
friends. Like
Right.
we're a little community. So
Sweet.
yeah. So
But
do I
some
have
who
a
hate. No, just kidding.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that'll change that question. Do you guys know why Postmark chose the name Postmark?
Yes, there is a backstory to it. Postmark is the third of 3 businesses in a brand collective, which is continually growing. And so as the third, it was Post, 2 other businesses, and they wanted to make a mark on the industry.
Okay.
That's the,
That's
the
marketing
PR
one.
story.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
You guys can feel free to tell them the real story. Like,
We don't
No,
know
that
the
is
real
it.
story. Yeah.
I think that is
Yeah.
it. And they wanted something that you didn't have to put brewery behind, right? So I'm going to go to Postmark and have
Yeah.
a beer
I
instead
just
of
thought it was like Mark Tide.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, this is the Postmark era. So
no.
I thought it was super interesting. One question we ask all of our guests that come on the Wonder Boys podcast is, how was your week?
Fair plus.
Dominic will never say good.
Yeah, I will. I'll say good
Okay,
sometimes.
occasionally. Yeah.
We're really ramping up right now. So when I say that, I just mean we were super busy all week, and so yeah, fair plus. It was good. It was good.
And you?
Fair plus.
I've
Yeah.
never heard that term before, fair plus. I'm like, some people say not so bad.
It comes from my old career. I was a physiotherapist, and it was kind of a way that we used to grade muscles manually. So like it would be like fair minus, fair plus, good minus,
Okay.
normal, but that would be excellent, poor plus, poor minus. So I've just kind of taken that into my own little world of rating things.
Okay. So you're doing physio before. Why did you? What caused your midlife crisis?
It was just time for a new career.
just wanted something
Yeah, just a new career. I'm still helping people.
Yeah.
They're just happy to see me now. I mean,
They're
nobody's
happy after they see you.
or happy. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to see a physiotherapist,
Yeah.
right? It's not like, oh, I think what am I
That's
gonna do
great
today? I'm
point
gonna
of my
go get a
life.
6-pack of physio.
That sounds exciting. Let's get that.
So just a different perspective and something more creative. Although physio is creative too, I can't say that, but.
Yeah. And so you're the brewmaster here. How many people work for you in sort of the brewing?
Right now I have one cellar hand,
Okay.
one my head brewer, myself, and then we have a guy that does just odds and ends for me, cleans kegs. So that's about where we're at right now.
Pretty small operation, but
Yeah, I mean we're deceptive because we're tall, but I mean when you take a walk back there, we're not that big, right? It's pretty tight space.
yeah. And so for yourself, Ksenia, organizing this whole hop circuit, was it you and a group of people, or was it just you?
The nice thing about Hop Circuit is that it essentially runs itself, and so really the planning was, okay, let's all sit down, pick a date, and then everyone just takes care of their own brewery, which is really nice.
Right.
So I run the social media for the East Van Co-op right now, which is not a huge task because everyone is so great about it. I just post other people's photos. It's super easy.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's the beauty of Hop Circuit. It's super low maintenance. It's self-guided tours. People can go where they want to go when they want to go. It's nice.
And how many people are you expecting to do it? Like how many people have done
gosh.
previously?
Oh, it depends, right? So, like
Yeah.
we're on the outskirts a little bit, so we're not walking distance from everybody else. So we usually have a pretty good crowd come in the beginning and at the end. So,
Yeah.
In the middle, it's just kind of a little lull.
well, it's just kind of
Yeah.
people circulate over there, and then like we're a little bit on the outskirts of the East Van, but that's fine.
I feel for Doans because they are so small. They have no space at all, and they're
really?
right in the center of it all, so they get everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the places I wanted to stop, and it was going to be like, if you say they're small and they're going to have no time, like 5 minutes to talk to me, that probably won't happen. So.
Evan will talk. to
Evan
you.
will make time for you.
Evan.
God,
Okay.
Evan will talk.
Evan
to
is probably the best person in this industry,
Why is that?
you.
Why is
Besides
that?
me.
besides Dominic
besides
and
Dominic.
myself, of course. Yeah.
No, he's just a kind soul.
Awesome. Sweet. So what do Paul and Justin do? What are their jobs?
Paul and Justin work in the Growler retail area, as well
Super
as.
boring then.
I mean, yeah, they have no fun ever.
Actually, Justin, he gives the best beer tours around
Yeah.
for people. So
Justin runs our tour program for us.
cool.
and he gives a really
yeah.
good tour.
Okay. And then what does Kelsey do?
Kelsey
She's
is
the
our
mother of all dragons.
Kelsey's the dragon mother.
She does that. She basically runs everything.
She does logistics and operations.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, I could not work without her in a way because
Yeah.
she knows how much beer we have, what we need, what's being sold,
Where it's going,
where
when it's going.
arrange
Yeah.
the shipping for me.
Yeah.
She's like the mother of dragons.
Mother
She
of
does-
Dragons keeps it all running.
Yeah.
keeps it all running.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so when you say like the amount of beer and stuff, how widespread is your beer like market? Do you just serve Vancouver? Do you serve Canada?
Essentially all of Canada at this point, and we are also in Asia. Yes.
You can elaborate on the Asia part. How did that happen?
So we work with a company called Packrim Distributors, and they have taken our beer and a few other breweries' beers. Who else? Parallel 49, Phillips,
Central City.
Okay.
and they have set up this amazing distribution of craft beer into the Asia market.
Crazy.
So Singapore,
So we've done
Hong
Singapore, we've done Hong Kong, we've done Thailand, we've done China. We did have some in Beijing at one point, and I think Indonesia.
Yeah.
But maybe Indonesia's to come. I'm not sure. I think
Okay.
Indonesia
Yeah.
too.
Cool.
I know,
I
it's
didn't
very
know that.
cool.
I was like, yeah, maybe a bit of Canada, maybe just BC.
Yeah,
That's
but we
awesome.
supply quite a bit in Canada. I mean, Ontario's impossible. They have their own laws and stuff
Right,
that make
okay.
it prohibitive. But in Quebec's a little bit hard too. But every other province we're in, just small amounts. Mostly it's around Vancouver and BC for sure.
Okay. With all the people that you guys work with here, who has the worst body odor?
Worst body odor? The people in the kitchen. There are certain, I won't name names, but there are some
They're
people
stinky.
in the kitchen. And it, like, obviously it gets hot in the kitchen. I don't blame them, but yeah.
Yeah, but a bit of deodorant once in a while would be all right, right?
It's just like plant one
Yeah.
by the stove.
A couple Old Spices there.
No comment.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
leave it. Super passive aggressive. Awesome. If you guys were to rename the brewery, what would you rename it to now, 4 years later? What would you call it? The Mother of Dragons? Fair Plus?
Oh,
This brewery, I mean, I have names in mind for things.
For a new one?
yeah, we have plans.
Okay. So yeah, you don't have to divulge that. That's fine. But
I don't know
what would encompass the culture here of the people who worked here? What name would?
This is even harder than your favorite beer.
All right, I'm going to tell you my favorite beers.
Awesome.
Come back to that one.
Yeah.
Let me
All
think
right.
about that.
Yeah, no worries. Are there any? So you said they kind of hinted at there's plans. What for the summer? What's Postmark doing for the summer? Is there anything exciting that people would need to know about?
Yeah, we're gonna do like a really tart saison coming up. We're gonna
Cool.
brew that next week, so we have that going. We have a couple of the whatever you want to call them, hazy IPAs coming up, and right now I think we're one step ahead of everybody, but in San Francisco there's this new style called Brut IPA. Brut, like the champagne.
Okay.
So we actually do have one in the tank right now. I've made a lot of phone calls to brewers and stuff, so just to figure out. And it's really what they do with it is it's super dry, like a champagne, so there's really not a lot of malt, what's the word I'm looking for, mouthfeel in it. So it's like, we measure beer by Plato, so that's the sugar content, right? So, or specific gravity, some people use that, but so usually like the beer you're drinking is at the Mosaic IPA.
Yeah.
So that usually ends up about 2.5 degrees Plato.
Okay.
So this one will be, if all goes well, 0 degrees Plato.
Whoa.
So, and wines are about 0 degrees for dry white wine. Some are even below. Some of them are even negative Plato.
Okay.
So, because you always have some residual sugars in the beer because the yeast can't digest all of the starch depending on where the chains are broken from the enzymes.
Okay.
So this one, we hopefully have them all. So be very dry.
Very dry. And then, so would you drink that? Would that be like one and done, or would you be able to have like a 6-pack of those?
This one we're brewing in our small tank, so we'll have some bombers of it.
Okay.
I think we're gonna probably just do 1 pallet of it though.
But that's it.
But
So
that's
short
it.
run.
Short run, 1 pallet. And then we do have the small tank. I don't know what we'll do again in the summer. Might do another Gosa or something like that in there. Or that's my tank, so basically we can use it for whatever we want. Yeah, and also we're using it a lot right now because we're experimenting and making a cider.
Okay.
So that's what a big portion of it is.
It's the fun tank.
The fun tank.
Yeah, it's the fun tank.
That's why you asked me about the cider. But you guys do
originally,
wines here too, right?
Yeah.
just a small. Excuse me.
Very small amount of wine.
You'll edit that out.
Yeah, no worries. You just said wine. He's like, oh my god, that's enough.
Just a
much.
small amount.
Okay, cool. What's the most annoying part about working in a brewery?
Salespeople.
Nice. Screw those guys.
It's the funny amongst the brewers and stuff. It's like the salespeople can have all the competition. We all know each other and are friends, and we'll do anything for each other.
Yeah.
I say that in fun too. I like our
Obviously, yeah,
salespeople, but
I was going to say, I did a brief stint doing sales for Postmark, and Dominic and I were not as close in that time. Now I know why. Yeah.
She was very annoying back then.
That's awesome.
So rude.
That is, yeah, pretty ruthless. Cool. Oh, last question. So, if you guys listen to podcasts, what's your favorite one? And you can't say the Wonder Boys podcast because obviously we know that's the best one.
Dominic listens to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah. What do you listen to?
I really like This American Life, although it is a radio show, but still a podcast.
Still, yeah.
Like, there's the Debaters on CBC. That's a good
Debaters?
one.
I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to write that one down.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's really funny.
Debaters. Yourself, do you listen to podcasts at all?
I'm honestly not, no offense, Lucas, but I don't really listen to podcasts.
Did you guys hear
I grew
that?
up
She
on-
hates us.
I grew up listening to radio. It's
As
like
did
even
I,
sports
but I don't.
and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, even as a kid, like I had a little shortwave radio. Oh my God, Connor's here.
I know.
What does Connor do?
He's
Connor works in the kitchen, and he
Is he stinky?
very,
Oh, yeah.
definitely does not shower. He's back for a cameo appearance. He hasn't worked for us for about a year now. Has it been that long?
It's been about a year.
Is he just here for today? That's it?
And yesterday,
Yeah.
I think he's just pulling some shifts. Hey Dominic. Look at you, Connor. How are you, man? Good, thanks. How are you? Sorry, I'll talk to you later. We're being interviewed. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you can stick around. That's all good. Apparently you stink, so.
Okay.
Yeah. So, assume that's why you have a piece of lettuce. You just walk around with a head of lettuce.
Yeah. Correct.
So you don't listen to podcasts, but now you're going to listen to yourself on the Wonder Boys podcast.
No, I hate the sound of my voice. But doesn't everybody?
Oh, I think I sound awesome.
Yeah, except those who produce podcasts.
Yes, that's it. Cool. Do you guys have any questions for me? Do you have anything else you want to bring up? Anything you want to plug for Postmark? Or Yeast Fan, whatever it may be?
No, just This is a great building. Like you can see, it's a 100-year-old building. We're a lot different than the other brewers because we do have a full restaurant. So we're not necessarily a tasting room.
Yeah.
So the food's pretty good. It's not pub food.
Food is awesome. I've had the food here.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
So it's a unique place on the brewing circuit. So come on by.
I have a question. What is your favorite beer?
My favorite beer. So it used to be. I used to have two. It was a Four Winds IPA, and you got your guys' pale ale. So from 2 years ago, I think. It used to be split between the two, but now it's definitely just the Four Winds IPA. I haven't had your pale ale, but I did try the raspberry pale ale, I think, a couple months ago.
Raspberry ale.
Yeah, the just raspberry ale a couple months ago. I was not expecting what I had. It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, Four Winds, so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Brent's a good brewer.
Yeah, they're awesome. We interviewed Adam, his brother, and had a blast with him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how anything works back there because he's sales and marketing, so.
We take them.
Yeah.
Such an annoying guy.
But I'm sure Brent's a really, really good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I highly recommend going to Postmark and checking out their restaurant, as they do have fantastic food, and the ability to try different beers, wines, and now ciders as well is also a great treat. And their space is very unique, and I'm going to say that for everybody. So everybody that I went to go see has a very unique space. It was very interesting to see these different places where they've created their brewery experience within these spaces. But the Postmark has sort of more of a restaurant area, and it's very cool and it's very relaxed. And you can try all their beers there. They obviously do growler fills as well. And you can find, I'll put all their details on our website for the page. So their Instagram and their Twitter feeds, I'll put that all in there so you can link it. And I highly recommend going to check them out. The next stop was to head over to check out Storm Brewing on Commercial Drive and meet with James, the brewmaster there. Storm was an interesting place. That it's located on the northern end of Commercial Drive, closer to, I guess, Powell Street, and has a very unique small space. I know I'm going to say unique a bunch of times, but they have a small space that's been the same since 1994, and James will elaborate a bit more in the interview how that came to be, and he uses that space very efficiently to brew some amazing beer. So here's that interview with James, the brewmaster for Storm.
Just audio interview.
I know.
Video, like BCTV or the news. We're here filming me.
One light, like
Trying to
sitting
do
way
something
too high.
Makes me nervous. My hands are shaking. Here, let me pour a beer on camera. Sweat.
I hope it's good. I hope this doesn't suck. Oh, and there's 6 inches of foam. Oh my god. That's really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
So next stop on our top circuit's with James from Storm Brewing. So James, you're the brewmaster. You're
The owner and the brewer.
Cool. And how long have you been doing this? How long's Storm been around?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
So have you always been in this space?
Yeah, I started here in 1994.
Okay.
And it just was like, oh, hey, this is cheap. To tell you the truth, this is a really crappy building, but, the landlord didn't mind that I would cut holes in the floor and redo things and whatever. I had a very free hand with it.
Yeah, sweet. So 25 years, have you changed your formulas? What's changed in the 25 years? What's the biggest change been for you?
The biggest change is that suddenly it's not obscure to have a brewery. Like, when I saw people had a brewery 25 years ago, they were like, what? The jewelry?
Yeah, what jewelry?
A brewery.
Yeah.
You make beer? Yes, the stuff you drink. I thought they came from Molson. No, it wasn't that bad, but it was just about that
Pretty
bad.
close, I bet. So yeah, because I bet when the liquor laws changed in 2008, 2009, that probably made it a little bit easier for you. How did that work?
I was more or less locked into the model of the 90s brewery, which was you just make beer and ship it out. There was no lounge licenses or anything like that.
Right.
And I wasn't allowed to do lots of retail things that they allow now.
Yeah. So you're a bit restricted. Now liquor laws got a little lackadaisical.
The guys from Parallel 49 really had to twist my arm to get me to do growlers, though.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm a little bit of an introvert, so having to do growlers, you have to have retail. And it was like, so many people. Like right here, this hop circuit thing is crazy. There's so many people, and it's just going to be more and more of them.
Stressing you out a little bit.
Yeah. I stress out easily.
Okay, good. So how many people do you have working for you here? We obviously met Amanda at the front here.
Who else?
Amber, my wife Heather in the middle,
Awesome.
and Mike is there. He's my brewing assistant.
Okay.
He's worked for me for a few years.
Yeah.
And outside on the door there, that's Porter. He's a Chris Porter. We just call him Porter.
Okay, Porter. Yeah. I was like, wow, his parents were mean. Do you guys make a porter? Does Storm do a porter?
Sometimes. I haven't made one. I started out making a porter, but then I really like stouts better because they have more coffee flavors.
I'm for that. Yeah, I'm for that. Okay, so I asked Postmark this and they couldn't really answer. What is your favorite beer that's not made by yourself?
Probably the Fat Tug IPA. That's my go-to
Really?
beer. Yeah, I love
Awesome.
that beer. Yeah, it's got so much flowery, aromatic hop flavors. It just makes me happy whenever I have it.
I personally just love the name Fat Tug.
I think that's why they're such a big seller, because like people like saying that to waitresses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll take a Fat Tug, please. Just making direct eye contact. That's awesome.
They never laugh though.
No, they're just like, this is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had to experience. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I know this is a podcast and you can't really see the location we're in, but like you said, it was cheap in 1994 for rent. It looks like it hasn't changed.
No,
all.
I fixed the place up, but just years of brewery being in it, like kegs smashing against the floor pretty soon. Oh, there's a little patch of missing paint. And then it just never ends. It's constant maintenance.
Yeah.
And also it's, moist and stuff like that. So.
Wait, it gets moist in a brewery? No way.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy. So I have a couple of canned questions.
All right.
So the first one, we always ask all of our people who come on our podcast.
How would cans?
No, you don't. Oh, you don't do cans. Okay, thank God. It's a good thing we do. Canned questions here for everybody. We should call them growler questions. I got some growler questions. I got some keg questions here for you. We always ask all of our guests on our podcast, how was your week?
Right, let's see. Good. I had to work a little bit. That's always good. I've always got a few projects. Right now I'm trying to build a keg washer.
Keg washer?
Yeah, it's welding and cutting stainless steel and building stuff. So as long as I get to work a little bit on stuff like that, it's like physical work. It just makes me happy.
Okay.
And, when we managed to get a batch of something. Oh, I can't remember what I made last. Oh, no. I think I made a batch of stout. And, just when everything comes out right, it smells great and looks good. So
yeah,
that always just makes me happy. I usually brew 1 day a week. So
only 1 day?
Yeah.
Then your keg assistant over there, brew assistant, I guess, does the rest?
No, we'll just brew 1 batch per week.
Wow.
That's our capacity. Well, not our real capacity, but that's as much as I want to work.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have to sell it and all that stuff.
So what is your opinion on salesmen? Do you have any salesmen?
Not really. I don't know. I always avoided them. I had one friend of mine be a salesman when I first started because my ego was so tied up in the beer.
Yeah.
Somebody said no to me when I was trying to sell them a keg of something. I felt it personally taken aback. I was like, oh,
I'm so sorry.
I almost want to cry. Anyway, so I hired a friend of mine, and in 3 months he got me 20 accounts. Or I was having trouble. I think I could only get like 3 accounts in the first month.
Wow.
I would just procrastinate phoning. I don't know. I was terrible at it.
Right.
So after that guy, I more or less haven't had any salespeople.
Okay.
But everybody here is aware that they are allowed to do selling.
Okay.
I make Porter do. He's the newest guy, so he does the cold calls. But I'm not trying to expand, so
okay.
It's not. It doesn't. I would never have a full-time salesperson.
Yeah.
Unless I wanted to take over the world, which obviously I never wanted to do.
I was going to ask what you were doing during the summer. Obviously, that's not one of the options.
No.
Okay. So what are you guys doing for the summer? What is your plan for? Is there anything special for Storm coming this summer?
Well, every week we try and do like 8 new beers. So
okay. Don't worry, we can cut this part out.
Yeah, what? No, that's the best part.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what happens. So we're gonna. I've got a big greenhouse at my house, so okay. I'm gonna grow a bunch of different plants and have some like fresh garden beers, made out of stuff that I've grown myself.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And then in terms of your distribution, like how far do you reach at this point? Who are you?
However far the van can get in half an hour is the limit.
And you only have the one van?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I went over just to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of clients that come and pick it up from out of town, but there's one in Chilliwack. There's one somewhere else. I don't know.
Cool. That's it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've got a fun question coming up here. Out of all the people who work here, besides, well, no, we'll include Porter. Who has the worst body odor?
It depends. It's a toss-up between Mike and Porter. I shower every day, so it's not me. But yeah, sometimes Porter, I don't know. I don't know what he eats, but
It looks like he's a meat eater, yeah.
Into the bathroom after his dinner.
If he walks out with a look on his face, you're like, okay, just stay back for a couple of minutes. Give him a rest here.
Air freshener.
That's awesome. If you were to, okay, so has it always been called Storm? Or your production's always been called Storm?
Yeah.
If you were to rename it today, what would you rename it to?
What? I'm never renaming it.
Okay, good. That's awesome. No, that's fine. That's a good answer,
I
too.
have the perfect name. It's a double entendre.
So elaborate on that.
There's
Why?
a Storm Brewing.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you don't get that right away.
No, I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry.
That's how we separate the smart people from the rest of them.
You can put me in the rest of them.
Nice.
That's funny.
Came here for abuse.
Exactly. Came here for a bit of berating. I'm doing the interviewing and the interviewers. So obviously why the name Storm Brewing? We know that. This is Storm Up Brewing. So was it just by yourself when you started?
Yeah, I designed the whole brewery that I could run it as a one-man show.
Okay.
And I've done that. I can't remember why, just to prove a point. I think my friends knew that I had, because I used to have a brewer and a delivery driver and somebody doing the office work. And I didn't really have anything, so I would just laze around and go and party with my friends every night. And then I said, I'm not being very productive. I think I'm just going to run it by myself. And they're like, oh yeah, that'll last like 2 weeks. And you realize how hard it is. They were just, I don't think they really knew who I was then, but
I was going to say.
Boom. I had to slow down on my drinking and stuff, but it's doable. I couldn't do the growler sales just by myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only kegs, so you deliver one to a restaurant, they're good for a few days or a week or whatever.
Right. And you're saying you're only making, so you have only 8 different, I guess, what do they call these big
Tanks?
tanks? Yeah.
Yeah, no, really, there's 3 primaries and 5 secondaries tanks. So basically, I can have up to 5 different types of beer.
Sweet.
And I was made the same one since about '96.
Right. Wow.
It's fairly stable that way.
Pretty stable.
People hate it when they change all the beers. It's like, oh, we don't make that one anymore.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
What's a favorite beer that somebody else makes for you? Did I already ask that question? Yeah. And your favorite beer besides the stout that you make for yourself, what is your favorite?
Besides the stout. But it's the stout.
It's the stout. Yeah, that's the one.
The IPA. But I like some of the flavored ones, but they're always different, right?
Okay.
Like one with a bit of tincture, like Scottish ale with a tincture for a garam masala or some Indian spice or chai spice in it is really delicious.
Yeah.
That goes so well.
Those spices are intense too. I've definitely cooked with it before, and it's like when you put that little bit in, it makes huge difference.
Yeah, I was a supplier to Vidge's restaurant for a good 20 years, actually. I don't think, I'm not a Japanese new restaurant now. But always when I went in there, they would be roasting the spices for that night's curry. And I talked to them over the years a lot about grinders and things like that. So now I naturally just make my own spices and then grind them up, and that's what I make my tinctures out of for the brews.
Wow.
So they're extremely fresh and sharp flavors.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I might have to try. I'm definitely going to have to try one of those for sure.
I don't even know if I have one there.
Yeah, you're like, we might have
what's
a
on
couple.
tap there.
Yeah. Last question, just to wrap up sort of here. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
If you listen to podcasts, do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
what is your favorite podcast besides the Wonder Boys podcast? Obviously, you can't say the Wonder Boys podcast. What's your favorite podcast?
I listen to Nature. It's the British science magazine.
Okay.
I was listening to that one for 5 years.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm a science geek.
That's why you started making beer?
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, well, James, thank you very much for...
So after that interview with James, I actually got to try some of their beers that are quite different. The first one that I tried was the Tiramisu Ale, and it did have actually a little bit of I think it's called the Tiramisu Ale because it's different layers, or I'm honestly unsure why he called it that. But it was very interesting to try that. And what I also tried was the Raspberry Stout. And the stout was crazy and nothing at all like I was expecting, because if you could imagine drinking a coffee-flavored raspberry juice that has alcohol in it, that's exactly what it tasted like. It didn't have the consistency of raspberry juice. It was a little bit creamier, obviously, but it was, oh man, I was very shocked at how powerful the raspberry taste was in the stout. I was expecting the stout flavors to come out the top, but no, it was definitely led with the raspberry, and the stout was just there and left a good, solid taste in your mouth. So after my 2 beers at Storm, I got back on my bike and I headed to the next stop, which was Powell Brewing. So when I first got to Powell Brewing, David, the owner and brewmaster, was schmoozing with some folks, and I got a chance to actually stand and talk to Aslan and Chris, who are brew assistants, or I guess they're brewers as well, but they were there and available to talk to me, and I talked to them for a while, and I actually had a really good conversation with Chris and Aslan, because I got to learn some things about their process and their day-to-day and how much fun they're having while working there. And I really wish I had the mic on, because the conversation with Chris was fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him as well as Aslan. But I really wish I'd had the mic on for that. It would have made this podcast episode a lot longer. But once David was finished schmoozing and what have you, I got a chance to talk to him, and so this is that interview.
We start with you introducing yourself. So it's David from Powell Brewing.
Yep.
Tell us about yourself. David, how did Powell Brewing start?
Okay, well, it started as just an idea. So an idea my wife and I had about 5.5, almost, actually longer than that, 7 years ago now.
Okay.
Whoa. Well, no, we went down to Portland and we just saw all the small little breweries that were opening up there, and we realized, God, there's nothing like that up here in Vancouver. And I was a home brewer, so I was like, oh, maybe it's an idea that we can open up a small, like, little nano brewery up here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And we kind of started planning it, and eventually we just got it done, and we opened up just over 5.5 years ago.
And Chris was telling me you opened up in a much smaller space than this.
Much smaller space. Actually, just down the street. So
yeah.
If you're going there later, it's the Doans Brewery, so they took that over from us when we moved out about 4.5 years ago.
Did they buy it off? The rent off you? How did that work?
No, we just kind of gave up the space, and then they knew, because we've been friends for a while, so they knew that we were leaving, and then they jumped on it right as soon as they found out that we got this space. They were like talking to the old landlord and just trying to get that space for us.
Like, this is good for us.
Yeah, it's like it's already set up for a brewery, so let's do this.
And they're saying that you're using old milk tanks and stuff like that, or is that something different?
That's something different. I think James and
that was
James
at
from
Storm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Also, R&D used to use those old dairy tanks. The Doans have some pretty nice equipment.
They're working with the newer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So one question we always ask all of our guests on the podcast is, how was your week?
The week was hectic. This week was crazy busy. Lots of brewing, lots of packaging. We're a pretty small staff, so we do everything ourselves. Like, I'm upstairs doing paperwork, and then I come down here to help on the production side, and then these guys are just crazy busy just doing production, cleaning, and doing everything else. So
right.
It's been hectic.
Okay, well, that's the first hectic. Everyone's like, oh, I've been doing, like, it was okay, like, it was a reasonable day. I'm going to pull out my questions now, actually, because that's the one I remember. The other ones are a bit less canned. So you said it was you and your wife. That's what I want to get into. Does your wife still help with the brewery at all? Or?
Oh, yeah, we're still 50-50. We do pretty much 50% of the work, each of us. So she takes care of more of the admin kind of operation side, and then I take care of the production and some of the paperwork, graphic design, things like that.
You do the graphic design?
I do the graphic design.
You're the brewmaster who does the graphic design?
Yeah, I come up with the recipes, I do the graphic design from start to finish, the kind of product from the inception of the idea of the beer to the packaging you see on the shelf. That's what I do.
That's you.
Yeah, and then Nicole, she does everything else that has to do with the brewery.
Cool. And then what do Aslan and Chris do? What's their role?
They're brewers.
Brewers.
They're back here all the time, doing everything that used to be done back here. From obviously making the beer, to cleaning the floors, cleaning the tanks, to canning the beer, bottling the beer, just taking care of everything back here.
Okay, and how big is your staff overall, including the people in the tasting room?
Overall, as a whole, including myself and Nicole, we're 14 people total.
14. Yeah. Okay. And who has the worst body odor?
It depends on the day. It depends what you've been drinking the night before.
So everybody stinks depending on the day.
Depending on the day.
Awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad. So why did you pick the name? I mean, obviously this is on Powell Street.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Powell Brewing? Why was that name?
Powell Brewing is just, Powell Street is the main artery that goes into Vancouver, and it was very suiting. Kind of like Main Street on Main Street, so Main Street Brewing, Powell Street Brewing down here. They're both main arteries, so it just kind of suits the brewery area.
Yeah, sweet. And then, so 5 years down the road, you've changed location. Would you ever consider changing the name?
Changing name? No. We've gone so far with this name, and we don't really want to change the name. As soon as you change the name, you're like a brand new brewer. You got to start all over again, right?
If you could change the name, do you have any crazy ideas you would change it to?
Every so often, there's an idea here or there that pops into my head, but there's nothing specific that I'd change it to.
Okay, cool. So, what's the most? So you've worked, you've done 5 years, like you said. What's the most annoying part about running a brewery?
Paperwork.
Okay.
It's always paperwork. Anybody you ask is going to be paperwork.
Well, the people at Postmark said it was salespeople.
No, actually. Well, sorry. Yeah, sometimes our salespeople are really good right now.
Okay.
Sometimes there's headaches because you want to sell more beer and then you're pushing them too hard and then things go awry. But our staff's really good right now. That's not my most annoying part.
Yeah. Okay. That's sweet. So besides your own beer, and there's 17, I think, breweries involved with the hop circuit, but there's tons more. Yeah, there's a crazy amount. I was like, there's no way I'm getting it done in a 4-hour period. What is your favorite your top 3 beers made by not yourself?
I'm always asked this question, and the reason why I laugh is because most of the time I just drink my own beer. It's convenient, it's here, I'll grab it, I'll go home, have a couple beers. But Strange Fellows makes really good beer.
Nice.
I'll always grab something from there, from them when it's on tap somewhere. Do they have to be local breweries?
No.
Okay,
Somebody said James said Fat Tug.
Oh yeah.
So from Victoria. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fat Tug's a great beer. Category 12 on the island. They make really good beer.
What's your favorite from them?
It's not my favorite, but it's the one that stands out the most to me because I really don't like black IPAs, Cascadian Dark Ales or anything like that. But they make a really good black IPA.
Oh, really?
I know it's odd for me to say that.
I hate black IPAs, but theirs
is the first one that actually kind of tasted like what a black IPA should be. Very hop forward, some roast in the background, but not overdone on the roast. So yeah.
Since you bring that up, I've heard that a lot of people are talking different ways to describe beer. Like you say, hop forward, roasty background. Where does that sort of vernacular and that set of language come from? How do you decide what you're going to put? Like you did a collaboration with Doans very recently. How do you decide what you're going to put your marketing together? Like how are you going to name it? Do that sort of all that verbiage in it. How do you pick that?
It's always a tough go. So coming up with a name, that's always hard, right? There's so little names available now because there's so many beers out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So case in point, we named our Doans collab Back to Basics, and lo and behold, Twin Sales were putting out a beer at the same exact time called Back to Basics. They're 2 different styles, but I don't know.
Exact same name.
Okay. It comes down to the style that you're making, right? So an IPA, you want it to be hop forward. So when you're developing the recipe, you want to be like, okay, we're making an IPA, it's going to be a hoppy beer. So we're going to kind of tone back the malt a little bit. We're going to make it more bitter. We're going to have more hop flavor in it. So that's kind of how we do it. If we're making a porter, obviously we're going to cut back the hops. We're going to have more malt backbone on it. And just make a dark, malty beer.
And who writes that little blurb
Do you write the little blurb?
I write the little blurb. Yeah.
And how, like...
With a lot of back and forth with other people here.
Okay, I was going to say how ridiculous... I don't want to say ridiculous, but how do you come up with it? Do you just, like, write something down? Like, you get stoned or something, and you're like, okay, I'll write this down. Or you get really drunk, you write it down. How does that process work for you?
I'll typically just write something first, let it go, come back to it like a day later, and then rewrite it because the first thing I wrote is just crap.
Absolute shit.
Yeah. And then I'll go taste the beer a couple more times, and then I'll just kind of develop what's written after doing that a few times.
Okay. I have a question unique to you guys. So I've seen Postmark and Storm so far. No one's done oaked or barreled beer. Why did you decide to do barreled beer? Is that just a trend you're jumping on board with, or was it just like, oh, we haven't done that yet? So
no, it's something that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
First of all, barrels is a very kind of old school style of brewing. So you're putting finished beer into barrels and letting it age with different microbes over the course of time. It creates very interesting flavors in beer. It's something that is really taxing because it takes such a long time. Like if you look at our board here, there's 2 beers that we're serving today, and one of them is a 36-month aged, barrel aged.
So 3 years.
3 years in a barrel. So
Right.
that's a lot of commitment. Right?
Yeah.
That's a beer that you're putting into this barrel. You don't know how it's going to taste after 3 years, but you have an inkling. And then after 3 years, you taste it, and then is it good? Is it bad? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Oh, so Aslan didn't make me try. He gave it to me.
Yeah.
I tasted it. I was like, what the fuck did I just experience? This is unreal.
Yeah, so with the Flanders, it's sour. There's a little bit of acetic acid on it, so that kind of vinegar flavor, which is appropriate to the style. Most beers don't do well with that flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one really works well with it. And then if you're talking about Vanish, it's just a farmhouse ale aged for 28 months in oak barrels with Lactobacillus pedio and Brettanomyces. So
Yeah. I like how you're just being like super casual, like, yeah, it's just been aged for 28 months. No big deal. We did take a long time to do this.
okay, so when we first started doing the barrels, I'd be tasting like every, 2-3 weeks just to see how they're developing. And then after like a few months of that, I'm like, okay, now I'm tasting them every month. And then after like 2 times doing that, then I'm like, I don't really want to taste them anymore. They're not changing all that much.
Right.
And then I taste them again like 18 months down the road, and then it's like, shit, yeah, these are awesome.
Right.
So yeah, you kind of start, you lose interest in the beers, you let them sit, you forget about them, then you go back to them, and then you regain your interest into those beers because they've developed and they just taste that much better.
Right. To do one more question for you guys. So I just talked about the Doans collaboration you guys did. Is there anything specific for Powell that's coming out this summer that people can get excited about?
Yeah, we got this Jasmine Black Rice Yuzu Lager coming out.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we just brewed that a couple weeks ago. It's going to be coming out probably mid-May. It's going to be in 4-pack tall cans. It's just a one-off. We're doing a lot of one-offs. So like every second week we're coming out with a new beer. And they're all cans. And yeah, we're just going to keep it nice and light and interesting during the summer. Not do any crazy heavy beers or super high alcohol beers. We just want people to enjoy them, going camping, going on the beach, doing all that. Yeah. Still not light lagers or anything like that. Just not too many of them. We're gonna do sours and like probably some fruit beers and a bunch of other things.
Sweet. So lots coming, but the Black Jasmine Rice.
Jasmine Black Rice. Yuzu Citrus Lager.
Holy shit. Okay, I'll write that down after and then make sure I put that right. Okay. Awesome. But David, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure.
So the barrel beer that I tried was called Stupid Sexy Flanders, and that's what David referred to in the interview about being Flanders, I believe Flanders flavor, and that's what I tried, and it was incredible. It made my taste buds like dance around, and left an awesome flavor actually in my mouth after I'd taken a sip. So even when it completely gone from my mouth, but it just stayed and resonated in there. It was very, very cool. And if you get a chance to get your hands on that limited run, then please do. It was very, very good. And the last beer that we were talking about there is the Jasmine Black Rice Yuzu Citrus Lager. Holy shit, they might need to adjust that name. It's super long. But I I want to try it when it comes out, and I just want to give a huge thank you to the whole crew at Powell. Like I said, Chris and Aslan, who I didn't actually get a chance to record and talk, but I did talk to them for a while. They were very nice and welcoming, and I do recommend going and checking out Powell Brewing. They do have a lot of tall cans, and they've done that collaboration with Doans as well that are available in liquor stores throughout Vancouver here. And check out their tasting room. Grab a flight and try something different, like Stupid Sexy Flanders. And while I'm mentioning that that collaboration with Doans, that was my next stop on the brewery crawl here. So I got on my bike and headed halfway there. Realized I'd left my notebook Powell, so I turned around, went back to Powell, and then I headed over to meet with Evan, who was mentioned in the first interview with Ksenia and Dominic, and Doan. So Evan Doan, and they actually have a very small space like Storm. I couldn't tell you how big it is. It's not large. The tasting room is maybe like 4 tables. It's not very big at all. And then their back area where their tanks are and everything was super cramped as well. And it was actually, like we talked to David, was the actual original spot where Powell started. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this interview with Evan. I think you'll like it too. He's a real pleasure to talk to.
So why don't we start with? Make sure it's recording. Yes, good. So you guys, this is Doans. You're Evan Doan, I'm guessing.
That's me, yeah.
Cool. Who did you start the brewery with? How did Doans get started?
So my brother and I started homebrewing 8 years ago, I guess. Okay. Wow, time flies. Holy. And then we found our business partner Kev, and it's just us 3 running Doans.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So no administration, just the 3 of you do everything?
Yeah, totally.
How many tanks do you have in here?
Not enough. Yeah.
So 3 people you distribute to just Vancouver? Like how far does Doans reach now?
We use direct tap, so we can be throughout British Columbia, little pieces of Alberta here and there, and we're just getting into Manitoba as well.
And direct tap does just kegs, or do they do canning for you or anything like that?
It's just kegs and package, and then we do some larger production at Factory, which is or a craft collective. Okay. That is doing mostly just volume for people, so they help out smaller breweries like us that just don't have the capacity that we need to stay alive, and they kind of help us out and produce some volume for us, and then we sell it.
Sweet.
That's
so maybe you can tell me a bit more the story of how you came upon this location, because I know you took it over after Powell, and we just talked to Dave and Aslan and Chris over there. Yeah.
Nice, yeah. So I love those guys. They're fantastic.
They were sweet. I loved them.
Yeah.
So how did you come upon this space, and how did that work?
It's a great process. We were part of Van Brewers, which is like a homebrew club here in town.
Okay.
Great group of people. Shout out to them for sure. And if you're a home brewer in Vancouver, please look into Van Brewers. They're a group of amazing people. So we were a part of Van Brewers, and I was just chatting with Dave, and he injured his hand. And he needed help brewing, and he knew that we were looking to start up, and we were like deep into the process, and so he's like, do you want some commercial experience? Come help me brew. And so we came here for a couple batches, and just straight up told him like we're having difficulty finding a place that we can afford here in Vancouver, and if you ever move, just let us know. And he like gave us this weird like smile, being like, well, actually, and then we just.
Funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out really well. It's just being in the right time, right place at the right time, and it's awesome. And it just happened to be that David and Nicole, like some of my favorite people in the world, were just expanded.
Sweet.
Yeah, getting bigger.
Good. So one question we always ask all of our guests who come on the podcast, Evan, how was your week?
Insane.
Okay. That's new. That's new. We've had 4 different reactions to that question. That's awesome.
Yeah. Non-stop.
So why was it so insane?
It's just endless, man. It's where do I begin?
Well, tell me about Monday, and then when you get to Saturday, stop.
Okay. So it's just today was planning this, and just running through the usual day is just everything under the sun when you own your own business. It's just you're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're acquiring funds from accounts that owe you money, you're prepping beer, you're writing recipes, you're managing the back of house. It's just doing deliveries, pickups, invoicing, like you name it.
It's just 3 of you, so
yeah, it's just nonstop.
That's fucking bananas.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun. I know, but there's like nights you're like, why am I still doing this? Like,
Oh no, I'll lie in bed wide awake, and my wife will nudge me and tell me that you're awake and go to the couch. Keeping her awake just by blinking.
Yeah. I can hear you breathing.
I can hear you breathing. You're not asleep. Go away.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So why did you guys? I mean, obviously your last name is Doan. If that's why you called it Doans Brewing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
We ran for. We were looking to open for about 3-4 years, and
Okay.
that was one of the huge struggles we had. We didn't know what we were going to call it, and we were in Victoria once, and we went to Phillips, and we were like, oh my god, it's Matt Phillips, like a freaking hero of ours.
Yeah.
Literally, it takes me something to like talk to him and not stutter. I get really nervous. And celebrities, like, I don't care. Like Bill Murray, great guy. Talked to him for a bit, but like not a problem. But Matt Phillips,
You're like shaking a little bit.
yeah.
Like,
It's like, hey, I'm Matt Phillips. I know.
I've heard of you. I mean, you're cool. Yeah.
Just a little. So we were at Phillips, and
Hi there. No, that's all good.
We're like, oh wait, he used his last name, and then we just didn't even think about it, and we're like, well, we're the Doan brothers. We like said it out loud. Doan's Craft Brewing Company, Doans Brewing, Doan Bros Brew. And we're like, yeah, that sounds great. Doan's Craft
Sounds
Brewing.
easy to do.
Nice and easy, not taken. That's also a huge
Yeah,
issue.
that's a huge one.
So-
for all your social media, you're at Doans and so on. Yeah.
Totally. It has some good, some bad. Like, whenever you say Doans, people are like, Doans? Especially over the phone. Like, it's something very new, so
Right.
So they don't really comprehend it. But it's all good.
So you can tell me about some of maybe the other names that you thought of? Like, was there a specific one that stands out?
West Coast Brewing or Butis Brewing. All things that we wanted to be, like, we're totally Westies. And
Okay.
just trying to figure out how we wanted to incorporate, like, our immediate environment into, like, the name. And
Okay.
like our logo, the DCBC Dick Pic, that is it's actually a Vancouver manhole cover style. So
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
we
Okay,
wanted
cool.
a piece of Vancouver in the logo, and we were walking up to Mike's place from Broadway, and we looked at and saw this manhole cover. We're like, that's fucking perfect. Oh shit, I'm not allowed to swear.
No, you're 100%
Okay.
fucking allowed to swear. It's
Cool.
awesome.
All right, I swear a lot, so that's
Good. Yeah, keep it coming.
Yeah. Fuck shit, fuck.
Ah, perfect. You guys get that? Yeah, right on.
But so like that was our whole idea, and then but nothing really fit, nothing really kind of like made us excited, and then just
I love that you call it Dick Pic, because that's like
Yeah.
the first thing I saw. I was like, CBC. I was like, thought maybe Dolce Gabbana. No, Dick Pic. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's sweet.
I never saw it, not even once, and I'd seen that logo a gajillion times, and then we went to Great Canadian Beer Fest for the first time, and a group of really drunk guys walked past the tent, and they went, Dick Pic! And I looked at the logo, and I was like, ah, fuck. And then at the same time, and I thought about it for a bit, I'm like, no, I really like that. Okay, embrace it. Dick Pic.
Yeah, that's it.
And then like the entire day, we're just like, Dick Pic!
With your hat on, your shirt, that would be so sweet.
Totally, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So summer's coming up soon. You guys have a ton going on here, obviously. Is there anything new for the summer that you guys are doing?
Tons. I'm going on the lager train. I'm obsessed with lagers. So I've got hop lagers, pilsners, traditional German lagers, Czech lager. Then we've got fruit beers, our first sour.
Holy
huge.
shit.
Yeah.
You could be like, oh, we have this one special one. No, that's crazy.
We're rocking hard for sure.
Yeah.
We do our peach Kolsch we're going to launch this summer, and that was pretty much our most popular test batch that we did back in the day, and so that'll be really fun. And our Kolsch is our bread and butter and what we're mostly known for, I think, so it's kind of fun to do a little twist on it.
Cool.
Run with it, yeah.
So that's all summer. You're just going to be bringing out a whole ton of different beers. Are you going to keep some staples? What's going to stay?
Our cores will stay, so we'll try to have the stout on at all times. Rye IPA is a pretty popular one as well. The Kolsch, obviously. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Awesome. I have some canned questions here.
Sure.
So this is going to be a funny one because there's only 3 of you here and one of them's your brother. But who has the worst body odor?
Probably me.
Sweet.
I actually have no idea. That's a fun question.
Okay, yeah.
I've never been asked that before. I like it.
I was like, when you said 3 people, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can bring that question up. That's really funny. Okay, so Evan has the worst body odor. That's awesome.
I guess.
And
maybe Kev. I don't know.
the guys at Postmark, Ksenia and Dominic were like, They told me to tell you that they hate you.
Oh, I love them.
This is such an awkward relationship you guys have.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Dominic and Senny, they're like, I love them. That's the greatest thing about this industry is just how the people are just ridiculously fantastic. We're like one big happy family, and it's a really comforting thing.
Yeah, this whole Yeast Van vibe, very cool. And the fact that you guys put a whole little brewery tour together, like brewery crawl together, which is self-guided. You guys basically just have to be here per normal, which is awesome. And I hear you guys share a lot of your resources as well. You share like hops and...
Yeah, P49 is just pure heaven for us.
Okay.
They get to experiment and buy things that we wouldn't normally be able to buy, and then we just buy it off them. And it's ridiculously fantastic. Yeah, Graham is one of my heroes too. He's a fantastic human being.
Over at Parallel 49.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Now we're talking about other breweries. What is your favorite beer made by, or your top 3 sort of favorite beers made by somebody not yourself?
In Vancouver?
Vancouver, wherever, it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, that's a hard question. But to be completely honest, I've gotten this question a number of times, and I put some serious thought into it, and I don't want to offend anybody else, but my favorite beer in Vancouver is the Roxanne at Strange Fellows.
Sweet.
It's fucking delicious and perfect. Like I can't even. I fucking love that beer.
You're just white girl can't even.
Can't even.
Wow, Roxanne
That's
is
my white girl
Strange
impression.
Fellows. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Don't do it. Just stick to being a white guy. That's cool.
Done.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah.
No, it's Roxanne fucking kills it. I love Pilsners, and one of the beers that got me into the Pilsner was Clay's Pot Spills from Moon Underwater.
Where are they from?
In Victoria.
Okay.
And they're fucking awesome, and he's one of the nicest people I know, which says a lot because everybody here is nice.
I was going to say, you can narrow that down. Like, who's an asshole in this industry?
No one. There's maybe a few.
Okay, yeah.
Salespeople.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny to
no,
say.
just joking.
That's really funny.
No, it's
What's going on, guys?
I don't know, for a third one, I don't know.
Cool.
It's,
No, that's top 2 is pretty awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Postmark couldn't even answer it. They're like, I don't know. We're too humble. I don't know. So that's awesome. You could answer that. Let's see what else we got left here. Oh, so what's the most annoying part about owning a brewery besides all the admin stuff? We covered that kind of sucks, and you want to get to brewing beer, but
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's an interview.
That's
Video interview.
we're with the Wonder Boys podcast, so you can check us out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can check us out. Cool.
Nice,
I do, yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That was cool. You guys just do beers or?
No, this is just a special edition for us. So
Sorry, I'm intrigued.
no problem. Forgot the question now. Where are we at? Oh, the most annoying part. Yeah. What's the most annoying part about owning / running a brewery besides the admin work and the salespeople?
You don't get into craft beer to make money. You get into it to make beer.
Totally.
But a lot of things rely on that dollar sign. So a very frustrating portion of the craft beer industry is just the consistent lack of that dollar sign.
Right.
So I have actually very much so learned to hate money. And when I have it, or if I ever do have it, I'm sure I'll like it a little more, but it's just makes things very difficult.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's very, very interesting. Money says, well, we're not making any money, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Sort of last question, do you listen to podcasts, or you have a listen to podcasts?
I actually don't, but it's something that I'm really getting into. My brother Mike listens to countless podcasts, so he's really getting me into it.
Do you know what his favorite podcast is? Any chance?
No, not offhand, no, sorry.
No, that's fine. I was going to lead into, you guys should probably follow the Wonder Boys podcast and check them out. That's where we're from. It's me and my brother. Yeah, no. That's a great way to end an interview, so thanks, Evan. I'm joking. No, it's been a blast. So is there anything you guys want to talk about, specifically plug your own stuff? What's coming up the next couple of weeks? You doing any special tastings, anything like that?
I hate self-branding, so I'm not going to
This is another
sing
awful
the guy
question.
that has a shirt and a hat on. But no, it's I don't know. Just come check us out. We're a super small, family-run grassroots brewery in East Van, and small little baby tasting room. And come try us out and see what you like.
Play some Trivial Pursuit.
Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. Fuck yeah.
Sick. You were talking about. Well, okay. This will tickle my brother's. you were talking about with a couple of guys when I was here. You went to The Last Jedi, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Super drunk. What did you think of The Last Jedi?
Mixed feelings.
Oh,
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, I'm very loyal to the old Star Wars movies, and I love the cheese, but there was maybe a little too much cheese and a ridiculous amount of incredibly unrealistic scenarios. And I know that would get a lot of people laughing, because when you watch the old Star Wars films, the originals, there's a whole series of unrealistic scenarios.
You know, it's about space wizards, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Space wizards. I like that. But no, it was just like, I don't know. Like, I love Star Wars and I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it was just not 100%, I guess.
Sweet. Yeah. No, I mean, we did a whole episode. My brother loves Star Wars. Did a whole episode on our views of it too. So now I'm coming to grips 4 months later, being like, yeah, everybody has super different opinions about that movie. So. Yeah. Again, I was the same. I was like, I even liked some of the prequels, elements of the prequels. I love the fight scenes in the prequels and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, Darth Maul.
Such a sick
and the music.
Yeah,
sure.
Unbelievable. Some of it doesn't really make any sense at all,
no.
but that's fine too.
Yeah.
So, no, that's super interesting. But Evan, thank you so much for taking the time out. And,
anytime.
Come check out Doans Brewing here on Powell Street and come play some Star Wars Trivial Pursuit.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And Lego.
Oh, you guys have Lego?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Dick Bick is a small company, but they have big heart, and I really enjoyed talking to Evan. I didn't actually try any of their beers, so sorry, Evan, I can't plug any of your beers, but I am definitely going to be heading back to that brewery, and I'll definitely be bringing Tim with me to test his skills on the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, and see how well he does there. But that leads into sort of the last interview here of this episode. So I got back on my bike and headed over to Luppolo Brewing, which is located on Venables Street, and it's right next to the ice cream store that has like 100 flavors, including black licorice and spicy mango. And it's that ice cream place is really cool, and I recommend checking them out as well. But Luppolo, I'd never heard of, like I guess mentioned this in the first interview. I'd never heard of them before this hop circuit, and they are very new, as you'll hear in the interview, but their tasting room is very well designed and looks very cool. I met with Eleanor, who is one of 4 owners of the brewery, alongside her husband and another couple, Federico and Anique. So here's that interview with Eleanor. This is Eleanor from Luppolo. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Luppolo Brewing in East Van as well, part of the East Van circuit. So Eleanor, so I guess the first quick question that we go into here is, we ask all our guests this: how was your week?
My week? My week was good. I work another job, so I'm not always at Luppolo, and it was a pretty good week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Anything interesting happen?
Yeah, what did I do? I played hockey. I had 2 hockey games. I had a women's playoff game, we lost.
Oh.
And then I had a co-ed game and we lost. But they're both really fun games.
I was going to say, that sounds like a shitty
I know,
week.
but it's about the sport, right?
You could say that, yeah. You would say that because you're lost, I
Yeah.
guess. What position do you play in hockey?
I play center.
So you're scoring all the goals?
Yeah, or the playmaker.
Oh, I see. Sweet.
Yeah.
You a big hockey fan then as well? Do you follow NHL or anything?
I used to, but I kind of dropped off after the strike and the whole. I just don't agree that all these white men need to be paid millions of dollars.
I agree too. Unfortunately, I am a white man.
I know.
We used to call ourselves the Straight White Male Podcast because all our guests had been straight, white, and male. So I'm trying to get away from that a little
You
bit.
can be a white male and paid a lot of money, but I just not for just playing hockey. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I 100% agree. So let's talk about Luppolo, cool name. Mm-hmm. Why did you pick it? How did it start?
So Luppolo means hops in Italian, and hops is the main ingredient in beer.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
There you go. And it was kind of a working name that we've talked about a lot with me and the 3 other owners, and then we had gone through a bunch of other names, and then we just ended up coming back to it because you're so familiar with it, and it worked, and it was simple, and we could do a lot with the letter L.
So are you guys Italian background?
Yeah,
or?
so we are 4 owners, so it's me and my husband, and then one of my best friends and her husband. And so my husband, Ryan, he's also the brewer here. He is half Italian. His mom's from Tuscany. And then Anik and Federico, they're the other couple, and Federico is from,
Federico is a very
obviously he's
Italian
Italian.
name.
He's from just outside of Milano in Italy.
Okay.
And Anik, she just became officially Italian. She got her citizenship a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
cool.
But her and I grew up in Vancouver together.
Okay, in East Van here, or you just...
South Van, Marple.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. How many people do you have working at the brewery?
Right now we have 14, 15? Yeah.
And is that including the tasting room?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Out of all those people, who has the worst body odor?
Ooh, probably my husband.
Nice. What was his name again?
Ryan Parfit. He's
Ryan.
our
Do you hear that, Ryan? You stink.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think so, yeah. Sometimes Vince, one of our lounge staff, he has really stinky shoes sometimes. But
Gross.
yeah.
That's
They got
a-
wet and never dried.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you have a lot of bikes here? I'm assuming most people bike to work.
Yeah,
And
we do have a lot of cyclists. Yeah.
stinky feet.
Yeah.
Gross. So you're the owner, and are you the brewmaster? What's your position?
No, I'm one of the owners. Anik and Ryan are full-time here, and Federico and I work our other full-time jobs. So I'm a teacher by trade, and Federico is a geological engineer.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, and Ryan before this he was a automotive technician or mechanic.
Yeah.
He changed, and he'd been homebrewing. He'd been homebrewing in our house for over like 10 years and just really got into it. And all four of us had this passion about craft beer. We had gone to Milan, I guess in 2013, to visit Anik and Federico, and they were living there. And they took us to this really cool, in Italy they're called birrificios, it's a brewery. And it was just, they were kind of local that they went to, but it was such a really great vibe, and they were making really exciting beers and really good craft beer.
Okay.
People don't really think of Italy as having craft beer. But,
Definitely wasn't the first thing that came to my mind.
No, but it's really starting to grow there. There's some big names coming out of Italy now. And we really liked the vibe there. It was just really welcoming. And Ryan and I came back, and we've done the drive down the West Coast and Portland and Washington
and so on,
and California. And it had always been something on our mind. And then when Fede and Anik came back, they were super interested in doing something similar. So we just kind of, that was about 3 years ago that we kind of came up with the idea, and then it was just the long process of putting it all together.
Yeah. So when did you come into this space then?
We got this space in, we had to start leasing it. We opened in October 2016, and we started leasing it July 2015.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what was that, like over a year and a bit?
So we were
Wow.
paying rent for a long time.
Just to
before.
set up.
Yeah, and waiting for permits to come in. It's a bit of a gong show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gong show, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So now you've been here for just over 2 years, or just
Oh
under?
no, just under 2 years.
Yeah.
So our anniversary is like October 28th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of, as part of the hop circuit, there's a lot of breweries in the area, and that's awesome that you guys put this together with Yeast Van. Very cool. What is your favorite? It doesn't necessarily have to be Vancouver-based brewery or beer. What's your favorite beer that's not made by you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really like some of the beer coming out of Bellingham. There's a brewery there called Structures, and they make delicious beer, and they serve it in really nice glassware. But I'm really into what we're doing, a lot of this style too. Like it's called mixed fermentation, so use a lot of wild yeasts. But I'm also really into these tart ales. They're really popular now. It's coming into summertime, and they're really refreshing. So I would say favorite beer though. Such a hard one.
I know. When I ask the guys at Postmark, they're like, "Are you kidding? You can't ask
I
such a stupid
know. 'Cause
question."
it depends on the day and the
Absolutely,
weather, what you're eating.
So yeah, you could already given a good stuff. So some kind of
Okay.
Bellingham structure and
Yeah,
those guys. That's
yeah.
awesome. I want to come back maybe a bit more to you. My interviews are very not structured.
Okay,
It's just
good.
whatever I feel like asking. What do you teach? What's and where? Where do you teach?
I'm a specialist teacher. I teach specifically children with Down syndrome how to read.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I have my master's in special education and a specialization in literacy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you do that here in East Van, or
In
where?
Burnaby, it's a nonprofit called the Down Syndrome Research Foundation.
Okay.
So they do reading intervention, speech and language, and occupational therapy.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's a nice balance because, during the day I'm doing like ABCs and teaching how to decode words, and then you get to come here and talk beer with adults. So it's different.
Some weird adults. I've seen
Yeah.
some strange
It's true.
adults.
It's true.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been at the Down Syndrome Research Foundation for 10 years this August.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not stopping anytime soon?
No, I enjoy teaching. It's
Cool.
nice. It's lots of variety.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's find another. Okay, yeah. So what's Luppolo doing for the summer? What's coming up for the summer for Luppolo?
Yeah, we're really excited about the summer because this will be our second summer. Like last summer, we just opened. We didn't really know what to expect. So this summer, we're aiming to do 4 outdoor parties. Like we have a side parking lot that we get to control.
Sweet. Yeah.
So we're just applying for a bunch of special event permits. So we'll be doing. Our first one's going to be like a summer kickoff party on June 24th.
Cool.
And we'll have a live band, Tiny Islands they're called, and a DJ crew, Can I Live DJs, and some sort of food. For our anniversary party, we did a big pig roast. This one, I don't know what we're going to do for food, but
Yeah. How are you going to top a pig roast?
I know, it was so good.
Oh wow.
So we're kind of aiming to do that, and just because we can't have a patio here, we just really wanted to try to use outdoor space, incorporate that, and we're gonna try to partner with our neighbors, Land Yachts. They're the longboard company, so they kind of have a patio and a arcade there too. So hopefully we can back and forth there.
Is it a real pain to get like permits for an outdoor event like that?
No, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like if you can only do them once a month though, or twice a month.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Just renting porta potties and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Porta potty. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Where are people going to pee after they drank all our beer?
Exactly. And I guess summer's also festival season, so we'll be at a lot of festivals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Skookum's going to be happening in Stanley Park. I don't know if there's a specific beer sponsor for that.
Yeah,
or
probably some big sponsor.
Is it Labatt's or something's got that,
but a lot of like the beer festivals, like there's one out in UBC called Farmhouse Fest, and it's kind of a very curated festival. You have to be invited. We got invited, so that's a really nice festival. We're going to that.
And when is that?
That is in July, that first weekend in July, I believe. And there's just a bunch. There's Squamish Beer Festival. There's ones up in Whistler. There's one on Galliano Island that we're going to.
Wow.
There's the big one in Victoria in September. So yeah, lots of events. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a quote. I have a note here from Evan at Doans. He says, "Bring back the robust porter, shake fist."
Shake fist.
So what does that mean?
That guy's so angry.
He's so angry. I did not enjoy talking to him.
I know. It'll come back.
Okay.
It's more of a fall-winter beer. You don't want to drink a robust porter in summer, do you?
Not with that attitude, you don't. But yeah, it's a good point.
We got a hazy pale coming out.
Okay.
And our New World Sour's coming out. Ryan! This is our head brewer.
Brewer master.
Yeah.
What's your
We're
name?
on a podcast right now.
Oh, cool. My name is Ryan.
Evan Doan
Ryan.
was wondering why we don't have a robust porter.
It's just not seasonal right now.
You just said you nailed that marketing pitch. Well done.
All of our beers are seasonal, I suppose, but we just brew the porter in the wintertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the process to try to increase our capacity to brew more beer. We're quite a small brewery right now.
Yeah.
It's actually, and since now we're canning and kegging, it's challenging to keep up. Normally we have 9 beers on tap.
8 at least, anyway.
Today we only have 5. Yeah, which is a good thing. It's good to run out of beer, but
Totally. Yeah.
But we want to keep a lot of options available for people as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working with Luppolo then?
We're both
the start?
founding members. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And so us and Anik and Federico started it.
Yeah.
So for
You've been here as long
forever.
as yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your? So I asked this question to Eleanor earlier. What is your favorite beer that you don't make?
That we don't make?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be from Vancouver. It can be from wherever.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I love so many different styles of beer, and variety is my favorite style, I guess. So I don't know. That's hard. Like I don't think I can pinpoint that to one single beer.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What's your favorite brewery in Vancouver besides yours then? Narrow it down a little bit.
In Vancouver, like Vancouver proper?
Yeah, or like, let's go as far as Four Winds, so Delta then. Because that's my favorite. Just
Yeah, I mean, Four Winds is definitely up there, like high up on my list. I'm really liking like as far as like newer breweries, like Backcountry and Beer are doing some amazing stuff right
Beer
now.
in North Van, like
Yeah,
with the E. in
Beer,
it.
B-E-E-R-E, Beer, and it's their last name. Beer.
Oh.
Pronounce beer. And Backcountry in Squamish.
Okay, cool.
Both those guys are doing some really inspirational things, I would say. Yeah.
Who do you think has the worst body odor
In the
brewery
industry?
here? No, not in the industry. Holy shit, that would be unreal. If you could name somebody in the industry who's has the worst, yeah.
Here, like at our brewery,
Yes.
I mean, I would probably rate high on that list if you were to poll random people.
Yeah.
But other than me, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good one,
Vince,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That is funny, Jason. Next question. What's the most annoying part about owning or running a brewery? What annoys you the most?
Times suck.
Yeah, and just doing things that you don't necessarily want to be doing, I guess.
Like?
Paperwork.
Yeah, I heard that from the Powell guys too. Yeah.
Yeah, like reporting and stuff that like I recognize is important and part of every business, but not my favorite thing to do for sure.
And just when that's your product, a controlled substance. Yeah, there's just a bit more paperwork than if you were selling cookies or.
I thought you were gonna say cocaine. I was like,
cookies, yeah, or cocaine. You know, if you're just selling coke, it's
sell cocaine.
easier.
I fill out my reports like every other responsible drug dealer.
Yeah, it is a controlled substance for sure. So you have to worry about all the governing bodies surrounding that.
True.
Yeah.
I guess what we should kind of wrap up here. Do you guys listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, what is your favorite podcast? You can't say the Wonder Boys because obviously we know that is the best one.
Other than
the Wonder Boys, what's your favorite podcast?
Right now, it's kind of an old one, but I've been listening to Revisionist History.
Okay.
Malcolm
Gladwell.
thank you.
Sweet.
And
I really like Heavyweight.
Heavyweight, yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan Goldstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I want to check those out as well.
And I'm really into the, there's this new one called, I can't remember, I think it's called Song Exploder. And they like interview an artist and they go through one song that they've written and they kind of talk about
inspiration behind it and
and all the little.
What's that called? Song Exploder?
I think it's called Song Exploder.
Cool.
Something like that. Song.
Yeah, something.
Can't
Sonic
see my
boom.
hand, just
Sonic something.
something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh. No, go ahead.
Am I live?
yeah,
You're 100% live to thousands of followers all over the world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah. We'll we'll outro you. We'll pretend this is more official. No, but that pretty much wraps up. Do you have anything you want to plug for Luppolo? Like anything coming up that you want to talk about?
Just on Thursday nights, we have live music and comedy nights every last Thursday of the month.
Cool.
And we get some really big names out. So
Do you have an example?
yeah, like he just won. Oh my God, he just won the Emmy for
Aziz
Juno.
Ansari?
Just won Juno for best comedy album. Ivan.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, they're gonna
Ivan.
kill me.
That's too bad. We'll cut this part out.
Anyway, we can
Yeah.
just say comedy nights on Thursdays and live music on Thursdays.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking your time out. This has been
Nice to
awesome.
meet you.
It's been a pleasure meeting you as well.
And yeah, it was cool. During that interview, we got Ryan to join us, who's actually the brewmaster and Eleanor's husband. So he was a pleasure to talk to him there. And I'd obviously not cut out any of that interview where he left unceremoniously. He was basically pulled away because people were having questions about the beer, and my questions weren't very interesting. So I totally understand him bailing on the interview. It was totally cool. But yeah, check out Luppolo. They're great. They're in a great location on Venables, very easy to get to by bike, and there's tons of parking around there too. If you drive, please don't drink and drive. Obviously, I'll put that disclaimer out there. Know your limit and play within it. Everybody, let's get a plug for BCLC in there as well. But that wraps up everything for the hop circuit for 2018. I had a blast, even though I was just on my own, going to all these breweries. Must have looked super weird, holding a mic, standing and talking to these brewers, and having beer by myself. I mean, I don't mind drinking by myself if I'm getting the chance to meet with some interesting people and talk to them. And I actually did try to make it to Strange Fellows as well at the end, but before the brewers left. But unfortunately, I was just a little bit too late, and they were already out the door. So I definitely have to try and speak to them next year at the hop circuit. But if you missed the hop circuit and you like these interviews and you want to know more about the brewing, follow Yeast Van on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I'll link again all of that on our website and give you all the information there. But come along next year in 2019. I think it'll be a ton of fun. As the Wonder Boys podcast, I'll definitely be out again. Like I said, I've got to speak to Strange Fellows, who I missed this year, and there's a couple other new breweries like Beer Brewing that was mentioned by Ksenia and Dominic. I want to try them out as well and check what they're all about. But you can always follow us, the Wonder Boys, at Wonder Boys Cast on Instagram and Twitter. You can go to our website, where I'm going to link all of these great breweries to, is wonderboys.ca. Find us on any podcasting app, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week, and we'll see you next week. No, we won't see you. You'll hear us, or however that works. We really need to come up with better outros.
A dirt road, a cold beer, a blue jeans, a red pickup, a rural noun, simple adjective. No shoes, no shirt, no Jews, you didn't hear that. Sort of a mental typo. I walk and talk like a field hand, but the boots I'm wearing cost $3,000. I write songs about riding tractors from the comfort of a private jet. I could sing in Mandarin, you'd still know I'm pandering. Hunting deer, chasing trout, a Bud Light with the logo facing out. Hear that subtle mandolin? That's textbook pandering. I own a private ranch that I rarely use. I don't like dirt. One verse, one chorus in the bag. Now it's time to talk to the ladies. I'm hoping my southern charm offsets all these rapey vibes I'm putting out. Good girl in a straw hat with her arms out in a cornfield. That is a scarecrow. Thought it was a human woman, sorry. A cold night, a cold beer, a cold jeans, strike that last one. And when I hope you're feeling better.